What's up, guys? It's Silent, and right now we at the Bronx Terminal Market, which is a mall here in the Bronx by 161st Street. And we are going to head into the Universal Hip Hop Museum for a sneak peek for the actual museum that is being built. And right now they have a temporary exhibit that's giving a sneak peek to the museum called the Revolution of Hip Hop. And how could I not take you guys there, being from the Bronx, doing a series in the Bronx, and showcasing the connection of hip hop and the Bronx. And here we are, Revolution of Hip Hop, Bronx Terminal Market.
Where we are now is our temporary space, the Revolution of Hip Hop, and we're running an exhibition that's covering the period from 1980 to 1985. That's a very important time period in hip hop because that was the time period where the first rap records were recorded. That was the time period where the first national rap tour was presented around the country. We put out a couple of movies called Beat Street and Crush Groove and Wild Style and Style Wars. So this was the period where the music left the playgrounds and the community centers and started going into the downtown clubs and eventually started migrating around the country. So as you can see, the sign here says 1980 to 1985. This is the time period that we're talking about, and this flyer collection that you see here is actually a painted replica by Charlie Ahern, the producer of the movie Wild Style, who created this in terms of this photo right here. So you see DJ Dada Rock from the Fantastic Romantic Five? He has since passed on. He has passed away. But this photo is a photo of his bedroom wall where he actually saved all of those original flyers. He knew the importance of these flyers back in the 1970s, and he collected them and he saved them for documentation purposes. So now what you see here is a painting by the gentleman Charlie Ahern, who made a replica of that photo from his bedroom wall to this wall that you see on display in here right now. Like right here, what we see right here is artificial intelligence. This is designed by Microsoft and Manhattan Institute of Technology. It's called the Breakbeat Narrative. And what it basically does is it gives you a series of questions. If you look at it, the characters are designed as elements, the same elements that we talked about, the 5 elementals of hip hop: the MC, the DJ, the breakdance, the graffiti, and the knowledge. And what happens is they'll ask you a series of questions about your taste for music and your knowledge for hip hop, and it will create what we call a breakbeat narrative, which is a custom narrative based on the information that you provided. In turn, after you get your narrative and your explanation of all of the information, it creates a music playlist from Spotify with a barcode that you can download and actually leave with the playlist. At the time when history was being created, you didn't realize the importance of it. It was something that we did for fun or for recognition or for just name recognition in your neighborhood. Nobody had the idea that this was gonna be $1 billion business, so we was doing it for the sense of competition, to be the best, for the sense of expressing ourselves artistically, and it was an avenue for us to get away from all of the rigmarole that was happening in the hood. Hey DJ, the heyday of turntablism. This is the Grand Mix Wizard Theodore, the inventor of the scratch. He actually taught a class today for young people that was giving them the basic essentials and the rudiments of manipulating the record and scratching with the left hand and the right hand and using the crossfader. So he's very good at teaching that, and he comes here every now and then and he volunteers his time to teach the community the trades of DJing and how he invented the scratch. Now, we couldn't talk about the 1980s without talking about the Cold Crush Brothers. These are the temptations of hip hop. As you can see, they were well dressed, formally dressed, wingtip shoes, white gloves, fedora hats. Very different from what we know the uniform to hip hop to be today when we're talking about Adidas suits or Kango hats or Lee jackets or Nike Air Force Ones. This was the fashion plate at that time. Everybody was dressed like R&B singers. They were dressed formal. They were dressed above the crowd because they wanted to be considered celebrities. They didn't want to look like the crowd. It wasn't until Run DMC arrived that they decided it would be best to look exactly like the community, look exactly like the crowd, and wear the Kango hat or the fedora hat or the Lee suit or the Adidas suit and the Adidas sneakers. That came later, but to early hip hop artists, that would be underdressed. All right, so now we at the time period where records were coming out. As you can see, we got some gold records here. We got the Curtis Blow record, the Breaks, the first gold record. We got Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Five, right? We got a boombox from Africa Bambaataa and the Zulu Nation. We got the original Zulu beads. This subway car was donated to us by Soho House, who had an exhibition running about 2 years ago. And we used this train to serve as a cornerstone of the exhibition and what was happening in the 1980s in terms of the artwork on the trains, in terms of the style of the train, and we try to get it as authentic as possible to the original way the trains were made in the 1980s. What you see here is the infamous battle between Kumo D and Busy B. This happened at Harlem World in 1980, I think, or 81, and this was one of the first battles that go on record for being known internationally for the development of hip-hop in Harlem in the 1980s. Even the people that we used to battle back in the days, we're all friends now. We've all matured, we've all grown. We understand the importance of collecting these artifacts. We understand the importance of telling all of these stories, and we understand the importance of documenting this history in a way that has never been done before. From the people that actually created the art, from the people that actually created the music, from people in the Bronx, people of color, Black and Latinos, actually running and managing this organization that's moving this agenda forward. We didn't allow outsiders to come in and take over the culture and kind of dictate what we do. This is the actual people who were the formation of this culture in the beginning, and these are the people that are making the decisions on how this culture moves forward with this museum.